Devil May Cry 5 is, as the name suggests, the fifth installment in the main storyline of the Devil May Cry saga, and the first new game in the series since Ninja Theory's DMC back in 2013. Here, Hideaki Itsuno is back in the director's chair and brings us the story of Nero, V, and Dante as they string together a range of unlockable moves into stylish combos to attempt to stop a powerful demon from causing further havoc to Redgrave City. When it comes to the Devil May Cry series, the gameplay is the most important thing. Here, the depth of the combat system and the freedom to play whatever way you want makes the whole experience incredibly fun from start to finish. The high-octane gameplay is made better by the dynamic music that plays during combat. And the way the beat amps up the better you're doing in fights is an addition that helps make you feel pretty badass while you're playing. Each of the protagonists has their own style when fighting demons. Nero makes use of his sword, gun, and robotic arms called Devil Breakers to cut his way through enemies. Dante remains the weapon-swapping character that fans know and love, and we're happy to say that every addition to Dante's arsenal in this game is fantastic. Then there's V, the new character introduced in DMC 5, who has a more defensive playstyle than what series fans are used to, and who hangs back to command his companions, only coming close to finish off weakened enemies. As for story, it's really good. It harkens back to plot points from previous Devil May Cry games in order to wrap up loose ends. All the playable characters have their own motivations and story arcs that come to a fulfilling conclusion by the final mission, while also leaving room for sequels in the future. Beating the game on normal took us around 13 hours. There is a total of 6 difficulties in total, with various settings returning from previous titles. So if you've got a desire to test your skills, there's plenty of stuff to do. Without spoiling anything, there are certain moves and attacks you can only use during a second playthrough, so going back through the game is something you should definitely do at least once. Not least because the whole thing is crammed full of secrets that rewards players who venture off the beaten path. While Devil May Cry 5 does feature microtransactions, we're a bit confused as to why anyone would buy them. Red orbs can be bought with real-world money, and is the game's all-purpose currency when buying skills and reviving yourself if you're killed. However, the game isn't stingy with the red orbs they give you, and the option to buy them is quite the head-scratcher in a game that seems to emphasize multiple playthroughs and building up your character over time. On the other hand, there are some fantastic DLC Devil Breakers which can be grabbed if you pick up the Deluxe Edition. On top of that, the DMC Battle Packs add the battle music from previous games, which is a cool treat for fans of the series. Not to mention the live-action cutscenes which show real-world actors playing out in-game cinematics. These are actually really interesting to watch during a second playthrough. It's just a shame that these goodies aren't included for everyone. Despite all the great aspects of Devil May Cry 5, the game is not without issues. Across the Gamereactor network, we've experienced some mild technical issues, and then there's the matter of the Bloody Palace mode, which in the past was a challenge mode where players must progress through multiple rooms filled with enemies and/or bosses to reach the top. This mode acts as the major piece of endgame content for Devil May Cry games, and its absence from Devil May Cry 5 at launch is a real shame. It's coming as a free update in April, so fans won't have to wait long, but it's impossible to see Devil May Cry 5 as anything other than an incomplete package at launch. Overall, while it's not perfect, Devil May Cry 5 is one game that action aficionados shouldn't miss, whether you're a fan of the series or not. The 3 interesting and distinct characters and the sheer amount of replayability complement what Devil May Cry 5 does best, that being stellar combat that leaps and bounds above what most other games can manage. It's an action-packed game that is amazing right now, and that, come April, should get even better. And regardless of whether you're a longtime fan or new to the series, Devil May Cry 5 is absolutely worth picking up.